All right, so I'm Jim Etter. I teach maritime here at Yates High School. And currently you're sitting in the bridge simulator, or the simulated bridge of the motor vessel Sam Houston. A tugboat just went by us, and here we are in the Houston Ship Channel. 610 bridge is in the foreground. I just put some acceleration on, so hopefully we'll get off the bank here and we'll get through this mess between the row here coming at us and the Valletta. Yep. Not so sure we made it off the bank. Well, we're still picking up speed, so.
Where are we?
We're currently in the Houston Ship Channel. The 610 bridge is just in front of us up here. Of course, we're going to try to get to the starboard side over here behind the Valletta and let this row go beside us and go right on around us here.
So in other words, we in the ship?
Absolutely. We're in a motor vessel Sam Houston.
Okay.
And right now I'm intentionally steering us toward the bank over here so that this big ship can come around us.
So, Mr. Meadow, we riding in the ship.
Yes, sir.
And that's a ship coming towards us.
That's a roll-on, roll-off ship coming at us, yes. It probably has a lot of Volkswagens on board.
Oh, that's what transport the automobile, the Volkswagen cars.
Yes, sir.
Wow. It's on that ship.
Right.
And that's at the ship channel right here at the Port of Houston. And after that, on the top is 610.
Yes, sir.
610 bridge.
Yep.
Wow. And we steady riding in the ship now.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
And hopefully that roll-on, roll-off got around us.
Okay.
If not, we'll know.
We'll hear the paint scraping here in a minute.
All right.
Which is not a good thing on a ship. But if you're going to scrape paint, the place to do it is in a simulator.
Now the ship had passed us by, right?
Yes, sir. And in fact, that's kind of why we're pointing that direction, because the eddy currents underneath us are pulling us that way.
All right.
And here we go. We're coming off the bank now. Turning the bow thrusters on. Picking up a little speed. Starting to anyway. Turning to the port. So now I'm checking the swing a little bit here. Checking the swing means that you turn the rudder in the opposite direction so that it slows you down. And I need to come toward the port, get out of the Valletta here.
Mr. Miller, you guys teach this at the school here?
Yes, sir. We get the students in here as much as we can so that they can actually feel like they're learning how to drive the ship.
Oh,
and
wow.
In fact, we're about to hit the Valletta by mistake here.
Okay. And we're in Yates, everybody, so you know what's going on. Now, what's that coming towards us, Mr. Meadow?
This orange ship, that is the life raft.
Okay.
So if there's an emergency at sea, they can deploy that. And I don't know if anybody's seen the Captain Phillips movie, but that's what Captain Phillips was on when the hostages took him. They took him on the lifeboat.
That's the lifeboat.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's the orange.
Right.
Okay.
And if you're going to run into a ship, the place to do it is here in the simulator. Not good showtime.
All right. Now, over here is the 16 bridge. Where are we? Are we moving in the ship now, or is the ship docked?
The ship is crashed. We crashed into the Valletta right in front of us. So we can't move. It can't move.
It can't move. And we're stuck in the port.
Now we're stuck in the Port of Houston.
Now those gadgets down there, that's control the ship that you're using.
Okay, this is the main engines, right? It has two engines, and right now I've got it in the reverse, in the stern direction, hoping that we could pull off the Valletta, but I think the simulator's got us stuck to the Valletta, which is reality.
Okay.
You know, you have an accident just like on the road. You have an accident, you stop and you look at it and you survey it and you figure it out. You exchange insurance information, all that kind of stuff. Well, this would be a little more in depth. They would do a lot more research and more investigation as to what happened, how it happened, why it happened. If there was any situation with any hazardous material or oil that discharged into the water or what have you, that would have to come into play as well.
Okay.
So this would be a big deal.
And all of this is part of the ship.
Yes.
When you're really driving the ship, all of these components that we got right here is that we use to stir the ship. That's,
so this is a generic bridge, much like a lot of other bridges. Right now we have the Furuno radar set up, which this bridge can do 3 different radars: Furuno, Bridge Master, and a third one. Then here's our controls. This is telling us where our rudder is. We have 2 rudders. We've got a starboard rudder and a port rudder, and they work in conjunction. And you would see this async move before you see the rudders move, and we call that the helm. This is the helm.
The one that steered the boat?
Yes. The helm is, well, the helm can be considered the person or the piece of machinery here that you rotate the helm. The helm rotates the helm, which causes the rudder to rotate, which causes the ship to point into a different direction.
Okay.
Then we also have what we call bow thrusters, which is a big propeller in the front of the ship that pushes the point of the ship one way or the other, as well as the rudder in the back of the ship, causing the ship to rotate. And then over here we have what we call the ECDIS, which is an acronym for Electronic Chart Display Information System. Back in the day, we used to do that on paper, have big massive pieces of paper that were charts, or like maps, that we would chart where we are and where we're going. Now we do it electronically.
Okay, that's electronic.
So, exactly.
All this equipment, kids can come and join and be in this class and learn all this that you're telling me about.
Yes, sir.
Wow. And now, this is what you would call a control room, right?
Right, this is what we call the bridge.
The bridge. The bridge is just like a control room. It controls the ship, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, walk us through some of the other things that we have over here at Jack Yates. And what you call this class now?
Well, this is part of maritime. This is the simulator room, right?
Simulator room.
Simulator room. And this is our main bridge. And then outside the room here, we have 4 student stations.
Okay, can you walk us through that, Mr. Meadow?
The 4 student stations look a lot like this, except instead of having this big fancy chrome wheel, they got a joystick they toggle back and forth to cause the rudder to change directions.
Okay, now what we got in the other rooms over here, Mr. Meadow?
And then a couple other things we have in their room also is...
Can we walk through them?
Sure.
Okay. And what do we got over here, Mr. Meadow?
Okay. Well, just a regular whiteboard. Or a smart board, whiteboard. And then over here we would normally have 2 separate overhead crane simulators, right? And the idea being we're teaching students how to lift containers off of a ship and put it on the pier, or from the pier to the ship, either way.
It's like loading and unloading, right?
Right.
Okay, and you teach that?
Yes.
And that's a trade?
Absolutely. Those guys make hundreds of dollars an hour.
Wow.
Of course, they got a lot of pressure. You don't know what's in the container. It could be anything.
Right. It
right?
could be a hazardous material.
It could be hazardous material. It could be expensive material. It's probably multi-million dollars worth of equipment inside it, or commodities inside it.
Okay,
so
now
yeah.
We're just walking down through the rest of this morning. All of this is at Jack Yates, y'all. So let's don't get it twisted, y'all. Jack Yates is doing it, y'all. So
And then-
let the television station twist y'all around. Okay, now what we got here, Mr. Meadow?
What we have here is 4 student stations. So right now, the simulation that we have loaded up is we have 5 motor vessel Sam Houstons that are operating separately, but we've got them set up close enough together so that periodically they see each other and or chase each other through the Houston ship channel.
In other words, this is what the students can sit at, right?
Right.
Okay, so therefore we got at least we got 4 students over here, 2 students over here, that's 6 students, right?
Could be up to 8 students,
It could
because
be up to
typically
8
we have 2 students at each station. One of them is really driving, and then the other one is operating the ectus and the radar to kind of keep the ship driver on focus.
So in other words, all the things that you have in the other room, the students can use it right here, right?
Absolutely.
Right,
It does the same
okay.
thing as what's in the main bridge,
Okay, that's the main bridge.
right?
This is a bridge.
Right. It's just that instead of having a big chrome helm wheel, they've got a little joystick or a little toggle switch that they can twist to change the position of the rudder. That's really the only difference.
And the monitor is just like it is in the other room in there.
Right.
Wow.
And it's just the one monitor instead of the wraparound.
Right, it's just one monitor to let them know where they're going on in the ship.
Yes, sir.
And now, and this is for the students, right?
Right. Well, they're both for students, really.
They both.
It's just that-
So how many students can we have at one time, Mr. Meadow?
Well, typically we would have 2, 4, 6, 8 out here, and then 2 more inside the main bridge.
there's
So
10.
10.
Now, when the kids want to go into this, do they have to qualify? How does that work there, Mr. Meadow? Do you have an idea?
Well, what we do is we bring them in here and start to introduce these skills to them. And as they get more practice with it, they get better at it.
Okay.
It's just like any other skill. It's not something that you're not born with a skill to be a ship driver.
But you can get trained right here at
Right.
Jack Yates to learn how to not only drive a ship, but also learn how to unload and load a ship.
Right.
Wow.
And then how to navigate.
And how to navigate the ships.
That's right.
And we're using the Houston Ship Channel to monitor on how you driving the ship. Right?
That's right. And the Houston Ship Channel is one of the busiest ports in the nation.
Right.
In fact, one of the busiest ports in the world, for that matter.
All right. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.